Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is your man, Big B, Brian Hanley. Welcome to Steelers Almighty Postgame. The Steelers 34-17 loss to the Baltimore Ravens. Yeah, man, this one was disappointing. This one was disappointing. I don't want to hear the excuses about guys being out, but there are excuses. Guys were out. Having said all of that, man, this is a game Steelers could have won. They literally could have won. It was tough, but we're going to break it down one by one today. So I appreciate all you guys being in here, man. Thank you guys for showing up and showing out like you always do. Remember, you want to help support the channel and you want to get your question, statement, rant, anything up on the screen. You know exactly how to do that. Super chats are wide open. And you'll go right to the front of the line. So I appreciate all the support. Let's get into this, man. Let's get into it. First off, Arch Baby Doll with our first super chat of the day. Tomlin makes the same call again on punting the ball instead of going for it on 4th and 7. On a good note, Mika made a splash play. I was going to get into that a little later, but we can get into it now. I don't understand Mike Tomlin's thought process. I really don't. Here's the thing. We're on the I think it was the 45-yard line, and the Steelers, it's 4th and 6, and we go for it. I didn't like the play call, throwing a jump ball down the middle of the field to Calvin Austin. Some people were saying it was pass interference. No, it wasn't. No, it was. Kyle Hamilton was looking at the ball. He got every right to the football that Calvin Austin does. That was not pass interference. You got to stop. Either way, I didn't like the play call. But if you went for, I thought he should have punted. We should have punted the ball. But okay, you go for it. I like the aggression. I can't be a hypocrite and say I don't like the aggression. But then it's 3rd and 11, ball basically in the same spot, and we throw a tunnel screen to Calvin Austin, which it could have been the worst play call. That it goes back to our previous offensive coordinator, who I'm not going to mention his name. It was one of those type of play calls. A tunnel screen to Calvin Austin on 3rd and 11. And then we punt. I'm like, what are we doing? If you wouldn't punt it before to pin him down there, why are you punting again to try to pin him down? It just didn't make any sense. It didn't make any sense. Like I said, the tunnel screen, I can't. This is what I'm talking about. When I get so mad about the dumb stuff that Mike Tomlin does. Look, I'm not saying that he's the offensive play caller, but you're trying to tell me that a tunnel screen came across and that was the best play that you could come up with? Hell, it was 3rd and 11. You know the Ravens were going to give you something underneath. Throw the damn ball to Jaylen Warren for a 4 or 5 yard route. Just let him get it and get tackled. And then we got 4th and 6, and we can go for it. Oh my God. This is why I get so frustrated, people. I apologize. I'm mad and I'm emotional, and I usually don't get so emotional. But today was a day the Steelers could have won this damn football game. As many injuries as we had, as bad as the defense was playing, we could have won the football game, and we made boneheaded play. Now, let's get it right. Russ was awful. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. And everything that he did well, and he did some good stuff today. He absolutely did. Getting out of pressure, getting out of the pocket, making throws on the run, running the football. All the good things that Russ did all got eliminated because he didn't get down. He could have done. Everybody said, why don't he slide? Just dive. Just dive. But instead of trying to make another cut to get into the end zone, and then you fumble, and then a terrible pass to Pruitt. You know, Tom Brady is pretty atrocious as an announcer, but he's right. All you were going to get was 2 yards. Just throw the ball out of bounds. Throw it away. What are you doing? So everything that Russ did today, all the good got eliminated with those 2 turnovers. It was bad, people. It was bad. Next super chat up, man. I told you, Rats 31-17. Shout out to Tomlin and his staff holding office indefinitely. It was disgusting. Steelers had the game. I just shouldn't say the Steelers had the game won. Steelers could have won this football game. Now, if you all remember in the pregame, for those of you all that were here in the pregame, I told you, I said, if Derrick Henry goes for I didn't say 166. I said, if Derrick Henry goes for 125, 130 yards, and Lamar Jackson throws for 210 yards and 3 touchdowns, the Steelers aren't going to win. Well, damn it, that's exactly what happened. That's exactly what happened. Even still, the Steelers had a chance. But you can't you can't give up both. You just can't, man. Super chat, my man Alonzo Dunn, always supporting the channel. We appreciate everybody. I know that Warren is not a third down back, but you think that he should supplant Najee? No. Najee was fine today, other than the one run that he tried to bounce outside. Lord have mercy. But Najee was fine today. I didn't think Najee. I actually thought the Steelers could have run the football more. You know, they were doing well on not throwing it a ton on first down, which I liked. But I thought this. I mean, if you take away Russell Wilson's running and you take away his yards, which you can't do, but if you do, we still would have averaged 4.5 yards a carry. So the Steelers were running the football fine. That was not a problem. They were running it fine. But I like I said, not having Pickens hurts, because who would you rather be throwing a ball deep down the middle to? Calvin Austin or George Pickens? First of all, I didn't think that should have been the play. And it looked like, well, people are he was wide open. No, he wasn't. They were just baiting you. It was too deep safety. I mean, he never got behind Kyle Hamilton. He was not open. So I feel Tomlin only worried about a winning season, says our Arch baby doll. I mean, I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to say that he just wants to win or doesn't want to win. I don't believe that. I don't believe that. But you know what? I don't have any proof. So I can sit here and say I don't believe that all I want, but that doesn't mean that there's no proof. I can't prove that. So I don't know. The thing that I know is we didn't go to Freiermuth enough today. Darnell Washington was non-existent. But I thought Warren was good. I thought Najee was good. But again, Broderick Jones. Come on. Not only Broderick Jones, Mason McCormick. Gee, many Christmas. Man, were they bad today. They were awful today. McCormick, I've been saying the same things. On the first sack, everybody's going to blame Broderick. It wasn't Broderick's fault. You got to twist the 3 technique. Mason, you got to hit the guy. You don't even hit the guy and you let him run into the inside hip of Broderick. What's he supposed to do? I mean, he can step down hard inside, but the guy already has leverage. You didn't even touch him. Didn't even stop his momentum at all. Well, when you don't do that, what am I supposed to do as a tackle? The guy's got inside leverage and the quarterback's on my inside. What am I supposed to do? I mean, McCormick was pathetic. I mentioned to you guys before hitting the rookie wall. He looks like he is slammed into the rookie wall. He looks like he's run directly into it, and that's a problem because we don't have a backup. We don't have anybody else that can play. Man, we don't have anybody else that we can play. So I see the trolls are out talking about Russell Wilson. I mean, look, Russ had a bad game today, but let's not act like Russ has been a problem all year. This was a bad game today. It was a bad game today. But it was a bad game, and he cost us. Period. End of story. I can't defend that. Won't defend it because y'all know how I feel about turning the football over. Can't defend it. Won't defend it. Just can't do it. Won't do it. Ratbird's got an easier route to the division now. Of course they do. I mean, hell, the Steelers got to play the Chiefs on Wednesday, and then they got the Bengals. And if you don't think the Bengals, if it comes down to it, would want to do everything in their power to not let the Steelers win the division, you're kidding yourselves. You're kidding yourselves. Of course they would. They absolutely would. So, next super chat by S. Dreesen. How many O linemen have they drafted and brought in via free agency in the last 3 seasons? At some point, look at the staff and front office. I don't think you have to look necessarily at the front office. Maybe look at the offensive line coach. Look at the offensive line coach. Pat Meyer can't develop guys. I think Broderick, he's out of position, but at some these Broderick has talent. It's not like Broderick doesn't have talent. He does. And maybe he's just not being coached right. Mason McCormick, I don't even necessarily fault him because he was a 4th-round draft pick out of an FCS program. He wasn't supposed to be playing right now. This is James Daniels' job. And he got thrown in there because Daniels got hurt. And he did a pretty good job all year, but the last several weeks he's looked bad. And this was another one. So it's just silly. Oh, well. The thing about McCormick is he was good, but you just hit a wall. Sometimes you just hit a wall. Rookies hit walls. You just hit walls. And it's been bad. It's been bad the last couple of weeks. So it's been bad the last couple of weeks. And I mean, like I said, Broderick is what it is. He wasn't great today. But the defense, you can't give up. What was it? 160 something. I think it was 212 rushing. I mean, you can't win giving up 220 yards rushing. You're not winning against Baltimore or anybody for that matter if you're going to give up 220 yards rushing. You're just not going to do it. And part of the problem is the Steelers started quick. We didn't take advantage of turnovers. We forced 2 fumbles and didn't get either one of them. We forced 2 turnovers, didn't get either one. The Ravens forced 2 turnovers. They got both of them, and they turned one of them into a touchdown or a pick 6. That's the difference. That is the difference. Hell, you could technically say they turned both of them into touchdowns because they went and drove 97 yards and scored a touchdown when Russell fumbled. So there's 14 points right there. I mean, and the Steelers didn't get any points when they would have. So, I don't know. It was bad. It was bad. We should have been better. We could have been better. I thought we were better. But we didn't go out there and prove it. Now, let's talk about these injuries. There is no doubt that the Steelers missed Deshaun Elliott. There is no question, no doubt that the Steelers missed Deshaun Elliott. Okay? He's the difference. He is a difference maker. I shouldn't say he is the difference. He's a difference maker. Larry Ogunjobi is super against the run. He wasn't out there. That matters. As much as we may or may not like Dante Jackson, I apologize. I was wrong. Okay? You know me. I'll admit when I'm wrong. Corey Trice is not the best corner on this football team. I think we now know why Corey Trice hadn't been getting a helmet the last several weeks while he's healthy. I mean, how many times did we see him giving all this cushion? I mean, 3rd and 8, and he's giving a 10-yard cushion? I'm like, what are you doing? Couldn't cover anybody all day. Yeah. Again, I was wrong. I can admit it. What's my opinion on Trice today? I beat you to it, Arts, baby. He was terrible. And that's the difference. He was bad. S. Dreesen. How is that old tackle pick over Mitchell, Wiggins, Brian Thomas, or Dejon looking now? Well, I mean, that's a stupid comment, bro. Come on. What do you think they thought that Faetanu was going to get hurt? I mean, hey, we're going to draft this guy so he can blow his knee out. I mean, come on. You're better than that, man. That's I mean, I'm sure the Steelers drafted him. So, hey, let's draft this guy so he can blow his knee out when he's playing really well. I mean, come on. Jeez Louise. I mean, hindsight's 2020, obviously. But they didn't draft the guy so he could blow his knee out. And if he was out there playing, because he was playing well, it would look just fine. That draft pick would look just fine. So let's relax. Let's relax. So, mm-mm-mm. Yeah. I mean, the O line today, it had its struggles. It did. But here's the thing. The O line also was pretty good in spots because the Steelers were able to run the football. They were able to run the football. So there's that. Mandreesen says Faetano had injury concerns in college. Okay. And the Steelers drafted him because they thought he was going to blow his knee out. Is that what you're saying? I mean, is that the point you're trying to make? Is, hey, man, we know you're going to blow your knee out, so we're going to draft you anyway. We want you on your team, on our team, so you can blow your knee out. Okay. Now, Baby P's mad because say the same thing about Roman Wilson. Roman Wilson's healthy and he can't get on the field. I mean, Roman Wilson is healthy and he can't play. I don't know what you want me to say about that. I mean, I don't know what you want me to say other than it looks like he might be a bust because they draft him in the third round and he literally can't play. Now, if you want me to get on the front office about that, I'll do that. I'll say that because he ain't hurt. He just can't play. But I'm not going to do that about Faetano because the guy got hurt. And I'm assuming the Steelers didn't just draft him with the 20th pick to say that, hey, we drafted you. Go blow your knee out. The second game you play, even before the second game you play, in practice, better yet. In a Friday practice, go blow it out, man. Come on. So, but either way, Ravens converted turnovers today that the Steelers didn't do. That's one thing. Let's look at this here. Man, Jason says, I was upset at KZ and Sutton for giving up that touchdown to Andrews. Yeah, that one was bad. Sutton thought he was guarding Flowers and KZ should have stayed in the middle. It miscommunication. It happened on the first touchdown, miscommunication. You know, there was same thing, miscommunication. You know, basically on all three touchdowns, you could say it was miscommunication. On all three of those touchdowns, on the first one, the miscommunication came because Minka didn't cover likely out of the backfield. Some people tried to say, well, it was Patrick Queen. No, it wasn't. Patrick Queen was in man-to-man coverage with the running back. He was lined up on the opposite side of the field as likely. He's supposed to cover him one-on-one? No, it was Minka. Minka let him run right past him because he thought he was blocking. He got fooled. Happens. On the second one, Corey Trice didn't sink enough. It was 3rd and 8, and he bit on the underneath coverage. He should have sank in cover 2. Didn't give KZ enough time to get back there. Touchdown. And then the last one we just talked about, miscommunication, you know, between KZ and Sutton. Got to do better than that. You're 100% right. That just, it didn't look good. It didn't good. The point is the organization has bigger problems than personnel. The organization, what? The organization doesn't have bigger problems than personnel. The Steelers right now need good football players. That's what they need. Now, you can say that they need coaching, but personnel is the main problem and has been the Steelers' main problem. Think about what the Steelers are trying to do. They're trying to be competitive while they're basically rebuilding a football team. And they made the playoffs. Now, none of us care about them just making the playoffs. You know, making the playoff. I don't care. I know none of you all care about the Steelers just making the playoffs. But that's what the Steelers are really doing. They are rebuilding a football team while still being competitive. I don't know that I necessarily like that approach because we never get a top draft pick, but we're also never going to win a playoff game that way. But it is what it is. It is what it is. That's what they're doing. I don't know if anybody's ever said that or wanted to admit that, but that's what the Steelers are doing. They are rebuilding while remaining competitive because they have such a good defense. Or we thought they had such a good defense. But I'm going to bring this up. We got another super chat, and then I'll bring up my next point. The O-line made holes, but many sacks and pressures. How many sacks and pressures did they give up? A lot. A lot. Let's see here. Well, it was 3 sacks, but it was a ton of pressure. It was a ton of pressure. So, another one. Kudatoy. If I'm pronouncing it wrong, I apologize. But either way, I appreciate the support, man. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So, who brings in personnel? The front office brings in personnel. So, are you saying that the Steelers front office is the problem? Because, okay. If that's your point, you can win. I don't agree, but whatever. I'm not going to argue with you. But yeah, the Steelers' problem is they don't have enough good football players. And they got to bring in good football players. But you can only bring in so many at a time. You can't just bring in everybody that you want. So. Yeah, freaking, like I said, Tomlin, some of his decision-making today, and it's always Tomlin, his decision-making, it got on my nerves. It literally got on my nerves. Like I said, you go for it on their 46 when you could have punted to try to pin them down there, which, again, I wasn't even mad about that decision. I thought they should have punted because there was a ton of time left, but okay, fine. Because last week, they punted and we never got the ball back. So that I'm sure that went into his way of thinking. Hey, we punted last week. We never got the ball back. So, and then 3rd and 11, we run a tunnel screen. Lord have mercy. I can't, man. I can't. Front office and coaching staff. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I just can't. I just can't with the tunnel screen on 3rd and 11. And then just to punt it. And then to punt the football after you do that. Oh my God. It was so deflating. So, just brutal. Brutal. So, it didn't make any sense. Or didn't make any sense. Now, I am going to go into crybaby mode here. So be prepared. I'm going into crybaby mode. I'm going into excuse mode. As bad as the Steelers were, no Deshaun Elliott, no George Pickens, no Larry O, no Dante Jackson. JPJ gets hurt during the football game. All those things happened. They all happened. And we were right there. If you'd have told me that the Steelers were going to be at the half, as bad as that first half was, it was going to be 17-10 at half, I would have taken it. And we were right there. Tie the game up. Ugly. Okay. Deontay Johnson is up. What do you think? Here's my thoughts about Deontay Johnson. You all let me know. I think Deontay Johnson, first of all, they got rid of Deontay Johnson because he was a locker room nightmare. Getting in a fight with Mika Fitzpatrick, not giving effort. The team was done with him. They were absolutely done with him. And so they had to get rid of him. And they did. Now, the thing about Deontay Johnson, he's almost out of the league. Because when you don't go in, when they need you to go into a football game and you don't go in, that means you've quit. So he's basically almost out of the league if he isn't out of the league right now. Now, if the Steelers were to bring him back, I think the same people that are saying, hey, this guy was a problem in the locker room, those guys got to swallow their pride and say, you know what? He can help us. If you're committed, we're committed. He can help us if they're serious about winning. If they're not, that's a different conversation. And if he's not, because I would think that he's got to be humbled because he's been on 3 teams in a year and he just quit on his last team. I mean, you don't get a whole lot more shots after that, if any. So, again, if he's committed and the guys in the locker room are willing to swallow their pride, I say bring him back. But if not, I'm okay with it because he's got to be humble. And if he doesn't want to be, he can move on. Bring this up. A sincere review. It feels likely the fumble from Wilson is similar to the Harris fumble last week, momentum-wise. I mean, kind of, because the Steelers were going to score a touchdown. I mean, here's the thing. Other than maybe a couple of times, did the Ravens really stop the Steelers? Like, when the Steelers got moving, like, did they just put the clamps on us? That didn't happen. That didn't happen today. We stopped ourselves a few times. But this wasn't a game where, oh, man, we can't move the football. The Ravens defense is just too much. That was never the case today. Never the case. So I don't know, man. I don't know. Like I said, I'm just frustrated because this is a game the Steelers could have won, even with all the injuries. But Russ can't have a game. Look, if you're going to be out your main weapon and deal with all these injuries, your quarterback can't play that way. And I know there were some people in the chat talking about Russ stinks and he's terrible. I'm like, he was terrible today. You can't deny that. You shouldn't deny that. Real Steeler fans can't deny that. He was awful today. And all the good things that he did, because Russ was doing some good stuff, it just doesn't matter, people. When you turn the football over twice, it doesn't matter. It literally doesn't matter. And he turned it over twice. One for a touchdown. The other one led to a touchdown and took points off the board for us. It's a problem. It's a problem. And I haven't listened to any post game or anything like that. But if Russ is the leader that we think that he is, or that he says that he is, he'll come out and say, I cost us the football game today. You know, I'm not saying just any one play because obviously there was a ton of stuff. Steelers couldn't stop the run. What did Derrick Henry have? I think it was like 6 runs of over 10 yards today. Come on, man. What are we doing? What are we doing? Now, a lot of that, mate, you want to say is Deshaun Elliott not being there. Okay. But 6 yards or 6 times over 10 yards? And it's not like Lamar Jackson threw for like 300 yards. He didn't. Lamar Jackson was 15 for 23 for 207. Think about it. 15 for 23 for 207. Now, he made some timely throws. And just think about this. Until he got that long throw to Flowers at the end of the game was a 49-yarder. He had just over 150 yards passing. So it's not like Lamar Jackson just carved us up. That's not what happened. He didn't just carve us up with his passing. So, oh well. What are you going to do, man? So, somebody said Fields would do better. Come on. What are we talking about, man? I mean, look, we have got to stop this Justin Fields would do better type of stuff. No. And that's not a knock on Fields. We saw what the offense looked like with Justin Fields. We saw it. It didn't look the same, man. It didn't look the same. And you think Justin Fields was going to be out there just as accurate as Russ was at times without Pickens? Oh, I don't know. It is what it is. We're all frustrated, though. That's why we're here. We got to get it off our chest, man. We got to get it off our chest. Everything that we think, just throw it out there. So Fields definitely would have done better when you have absolutely no evidence of anything that he has done this year playing football to say that he would have done better. There is nothing that tells you he would have done better. That is just we're mad, we're upset, so we got to get it out. I agree. Get it out. Get it out. You know, not even going to hold anybody accountable today, man, because we're frustrated. We're frustrated. Usually I'll hold people accountable and call you stupid. I'm not doing that today. We're frustrated. We're frustrated. You know, he wouldn't have fumbled at the goal line. How do you know that? How do you know we would have even been in position to be there? Because of the accuracy that Justin Fields had shown all year? Come on now. Come on now. Let's not be silly. You can't take a play and say, okay, let's put Russell or Justin Fields inside of this play and forget all the other plays that happened to get to that point. So, my man Brandon Humble says, kiss the division title goodbye. Flock Nation. They're in here. So, team scored with Fields in the red zone. Did the Steelers not score in the red zone today? I mean, I don't remember that being a problem today. I mean, look here. I don't think, it wasn't a problem today. So, I don't know. But yeah, I mean, if that's what people want to believe, then okay, I'll let you believe it. What's going on, Jason? Not using Pat F in the game is unacceptable. Say it louder for all the people in the back, my man, Jason. I mean, it just at some point you're gonna have to use Pat Fryermuth. Now I don't know when the hell that's gonna be. I don't know. But at some point, the Steelers are gonna have to use this guy that we literally just paid all this money to be a tight end. At some point, you're gonna have to use him more than what you're using him. And I thought, well, maybe Russ just not throwing the ball over the middle. There were passing downs in this game where Pat Fryermuth wasn't even in the game. I'm like, what? Huh? We had Pruitt in the game, Connor Hayward in the game, Pat Fryermuth standing on the sideline. I'm like, come on, man. And I know what they're doing, trying to disguise being in 13 personnel, 12 personnel, trying to disguise it like we're going to run and then end up throwing. Hey, this is your weapon. Throw the football to him. Jiminy Christmas. So, and we got the Fire Tomlin. If we got the Fire Tomlin people out, look, I'm not getting on anybody today. I'm not. Y'all know me. I'll usually, if somebody says something that I think is outlandish, I'll let you know. Other than the Justin Fields nonsense, I'm letting things go today. So I'm letting it go. I'm letting it go. So Terrell Austin is packing his bags next season. No, he's not. No, he ain't. And the reason that Terrell Austin isn't packing his bags is because Mike Tomlin is the defensive coordinator, people. It's Mike Tomlin. Yeah, I know he's got the title of D coordinator. Mike Tomlin is running that show, man. That's Mike Tomlin. We need to start drafting up, get aggressive. I agree. But don't be gun shy because the last time the Steelers traded up to draft somebody other than Broderick Jones, when they moved, what was it, from 21 up to 10 to draft Devin Bush. And again, Bush was fine until he got hurt. Once he got hurt, that was the end of that. But Bush was fine. So we'll see. We'll see. I don't know. Then Mike Tomlin shouldn't be the coordinator, says my man, baby. You're right. He shouldn't. I don't disagree. I don't disagree. So, and I'm not the person that says that we got to just, no matter what, you got to keep Mike Tomlin. I think Mike Tomlin is a great coach. I think he's a great motivator. But I said it all last year, and I've said it again this year, and I'll continue to say it. Sometimes you wear out your welcome. And I've said this over and over again, and I'll say it again. And I know that I'm frustrated today, but if they got rid of Andy Reid in Philadelphia, then why the hell can't they get rid of Mike Tomlin? Now, don't get me wrong. Philly has they won a Super Bowl, but they've kind of scrambled. I mean, they've had 4 head coaches since then, or three or four head coaches since then. I think this is their 3rd one. So I get it. However, who are you going to get? Because the Steelers are ready to win now. So if you go get a coach, there ain't no, well, we're going to ramp up a couple years and Steelers are ready to win right now. And if all you need is a different coach, then Ben Johnson would be the guy, or Ben McDonald. No, it's Ben Johnson, the offensive coordinator out of Detroit. That would be who I want. And I believe his name is Ben Johnson. That's who I would want. But you know what? It's premature to even talk about that right now, to be honest with you, because we're not there yet. We're not there yet. That's the reason we didn't keep Brian Flores. Yeah, Brian Flores wanted to be a coordinator, and he was never going to be at the Steelers. He was never going to be a coordinator with the Steelers, and he knew it, and he's like, well, I'm getting out of here. And look at Brian Flores' defense right now. It's pretty good in Minnesota, isn't it? I don't know. We'll see. A man Dresden says Mike Vrabel or Ben Johnson and let them select the staffs. I don't want Mike Vrabel, and it isn't because I don't think Mike Vrabel can coach. We've had a defensive coordinator defensive coach since 1969. Think about that. Since 1969, the Steelers have had a defensive-centric head coach. Nope. If you want to do something and you were going to go that route, give me Ben Johnson, the head coach, and let him bring in Robert Saleh to be the defensive coordinator. I could go along with that. But if we're going to get rid of Mike Tomlin, which again, we're in the season. This is premature talk. But if we're going to do that, the coach has to be an offensive coordinator. It has to be. I don't want another defensive coach. Like I said, since 1969, that's enough time, man. That's enough. That's enough. So part of it, we got to get a quarterback. And if Russ is going to be it, can he do all the things? I think Russ can do what Jared Goff can do. I mean, Jared Goff isn't just some crazy athletic guy out there. So I don't know. That's just me. But back to the game, man. It's a frustrating game. Steelers defense got worn down. Russ didn't make enough plays. For all the good that he did, it got absolutely wiped out. And I describe it as this. It's like you could have the greatest human being on earth. Like, let's just say it was Gandhi and all the good that Gandhi did out there, all the good stuff. But then Gandhi went out and killed 3 people. I mean, all the good stuff that you do gets wiped out. That's what I'm saying. So all the good that he did just wiped out. So what about Boz? Well, he didn't punt. He kicked the ball out of bounds. That hurt. I mean, we had just tied the game up, and he kicks the ball out of bounds. It was just a bad game for the Steelers all the way around. Like I said, those two forced fumbles early that we didn't get, it's a problem because in previous games against the Ravens, we got those turnovers. We caused them, and we recovered the fumbles. Baltimore was handing us the game at that point, handing us momentum, and we didn't take it. Not necessarily blaming anybody. I'm just telling you, we didn't take it. We had the opportunity, didn't take it. So, the one that really hurt was the fumble on the punt. We caused a fumble. What did they fumble it 15 yards forward and then got on it? Oh, my gosh. Terrible. Terrible. So, yeah. I'm not. You're right, Sean. I'm not going to be blaming Boz for anything. I mean, it hurt. Don't get me wrong. It gave him some momentum, but yeah, I'm not gonna. What Boz has done this year, I can live with that. I can live with that. Again, the defense is out there. It doesn't matter where you get the football. The defense is allowed to stop you. You know, people think, oh man, they got great field position. Well, what if the defense just stops them? Like, does it matter? Doesn't matter where you get the football. I mean, the Ravens could have got it anywhere. They could have got it at the Steelers' 30-yard line. The defense is allowed to stop them. So, no, the Steelers aren't spiraling out of control. No, they're not. The Steelers just played the last couple of weeks. Steelers played really good competition. That's it. That's a overreaction, my man. Steelers aren't spiraling out of control. When you play good competition, you can't make the mistakes that the Steelers have made. You play good competition on the road, you can't make those mistakes. Period. And then when you get mistakes, you have to capitalize. They didn't do that. They didn't do that. So I wouldn't say they're spiraling out of control. So not spiraling. And Russ's ceiling is a couple big throws a game. Other than the throw to Calvin Austin, Russ was pretty good today, man, throwing the football. He threw that pick, which was awful. But getting in and out of the trouble and some of the stuff that Russ did, he wasn't awful. Now, when the report card comes out, he's going to get an awful grade because he turned the football over twice. But some of the stuff that Russ was doing outside of those turnovers, come on, man. Come on. And if you're going to disrespect me, Baby P, that'll be the last time you're in here, brother. That much I know for sure. So we'll just keep it a buck. We'll keep it a buck. Let's see. I'm not going to say Russ played great because when you turn besides those two turnovers, I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to say that. I thought he did some good stuff for sure. But great is something different. I was shocked. I never say anything bad about Boz. I mean, look, we act like guys can't make a mistake. I mean, he didn't mean to kick the ball out of bounds. I mean, it was a shank. It happens. I mean, they're not going to be 100% perfect, but it happened. And it led to points. It did. It did. Boz is human, though. He's human. I was shocked, too, but it happens. We better be ready for the Chiefs. Good night, family. I'm waiting for Wednesday. Yeah, it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. The only thing that I could say is, the Chiefs can't, they're not even going to have anything wrapped up, so they're going to be playing their guys. So we got to hope that the Steelers have guys that are healthy playing in this game. That's it. We got to hope that we got guys that are healthy that are able to play in this game. So that's about it. That's what I could tell you, man. We got to get Pickens back. We got to get Deshaun Elliott back. We got to get Larry O back. We got to hope that JPJ can come back. Deontay Jackson. We got to hope all of that. Yeah, man, it's a lot of injuries to key guys. It's a lot of Steelers hadn't been able to get over the injury bug all year. You hadn't been able to get over the job or get over the injury bug all year. It's been a problem. It has been a problem. And we're hurt at an inopportune time against the toughest competition that we've had to face all season long. So, yeah, it's ugly. But I'm like I said, I was frustrated today, man. This was a game that we could have won. This was a game we could have won. Too many mistakes. Too many mistakes. But it happens. It happens. So, yeah, Pittsburgh got to get their act together against the Chiefs, man. They got to get their act together against the Chiefs. So we'll see. It's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. But we'll see what happens. So we will see what happens. The NFL killed us with the schedule. I mean, I don't disagree, but here's the thing. The Chiefs played the same schedule. The Ravens are going to play the same schedule, and so are the Texans. So it's not like we're getting a disadvantage against the Chiefs. They played Sunday. We played Sunday. They played today. We played today. We play them on Wednesday. So it's not a disadvantage. We're not going at this at a disadvantage. You know what I'm saying? But don't get me wrong. 3 games in 10 days, I don't care who you are, is crazy. It's crazy. Or 11 days, however you want to call it. That's crazy. And we're hurt. That's the one thing. We're hurt. If we weren't hurt, it wouldn't be as bad. But because we're hurt, it makes it worse. It makes it worse. Yeah, Corey Trice did look bad out there. I don't know what you're talking about. Corey Trice wasn't great. Corey Trice wasn't good at all. So, hurt's part of it. No, it definitely is. Hurt is part of the game. Injuries are part of football. They're part of sports. So, it sucks, but yeah. I say it all the time. Football's a game where bones break, ligaments tear, and soft tissue injuries happen all the time. And the teams that got the most depth can figure it out, and the teams that don't kind of die on the vine. And we'll see on Wednesday, man. We'll see. Let me go over the schedule. It's going to be a quick turnaround, obviously. So I'll have to get back because I don't know exactly what we're going to do on Christmas. I'd like to say we're going to have a pregame and a postgame show, but it's Christmas, man. It's Christmas. I don't know what you guys are doing. My entire family is coming in town and staying at my house. So I don't know exactly what I'm going to be doing on Christmas. But I'll figure it out. I'll definitely figure it out, and we'll get the message out to you guys for sure. We'll for sure get it out. So I'd like to say we're going to do it, but, I mean, they play early too. It's not like they play late in the evening or something like that. They play at noon, man. But people are still opening presents and all that stuff. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Either way, we're going to shut this one down for the day, man. I appreciate everybody being out here, showing up, showing out. It was a frustrating day. I get it. Steelers had their opportunities. So they had a chance to win. But you can't turn over the football. And then when you get the opportunity, when you actually cause fumbles, not be able to capitalize and get one of those, when that happens, you're not winning. And against the Ravens, you can't give up 220 yards rushing and win. That's just not going to happen, man. It's just not going to happen. So we'll see. It's not over for sure. It's not over. But got to beat Kansas City on Wednesday. There's just no ifs, ands, or buts about it. You got to beat them on Wednesday. And then hope that Houston can beat Baltimore. Y'all saw Houston lost Tank Dell today on another nasty injury. My goodness, that was disgusting. Yeah, it was brutal. Again, he had another one today. Yeah, that was bad. So we'll see, man. We will see. I appreciate everybody being here as always. Thank you guys for everybody that supported the channel today, like you always do. I will talk to you guys very, very soon, man. Like I said, I'll keep you up to date on the schedule. We'll have our report card coming out, scouting report, all that stuff will come out. Obviously, it's going to be condensed, but we'll get it all out to you. Make sure you guys tune in. If you haven't already, remember to like, follow, and subscribe and hit that notification bell so you know when Steelers Almighty content comes out. So appreciate you all, guys. Appreciate you. It was a tough one, but we'll bounce back, man. Aloha.